I called this meeting to order at 5:03. Let's do a roll call. Mr. Terrazas,
Present.
Mr. Guadiana,
Present.
and Ms. Dean and both Ms. Murillo are absent. Let's move on to our board norms. Go ahead, Mr. Guadiana, we'll start with you.
Actively listen to all perspectives.
Close the loop, responding to concerns and questions as a unified board.
Number 3, model the professionalism we expect from all members of the district and community. Customer service orientation.
Assume positive intent.
Be positive and responsive.
Okay. And if everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, with the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures. Is there any public input on agenda items? Any online? Okay. We'll move on to number 3, action items. A, approval of agenda items.
Madam Vice President and board members, I'd like to make a few recommendations for changes to tonight's agenda. I'd like to table 3B, C, and D, table 3G. I'd like to move 7D to directly after 3A, 7B to directly after that, 7A after that, and 7K after that. 7D is Dave Chandler with the Commons. 7B is introduction of the principals. 7A is introduction of the district cabinet, and 7K is Summerfest.
Okay. Any other recommendations? At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to move the agenda items, tabling item B, C, D, and G. I'm sorry, 3, B, C, D, and G. Moving items number 7D, 7B, and 7H to proceed after the approval of the agenda items.
7A, and then 7K.
Okay, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Okay. And then I believe we had 7A. Was it 7A first, Dr. Spletta?
7D.
7D.
So, Madam Vice President and board members, as part of our plan to reorganize the district, we are working with community partners and parent engagement. Mr. Dave Chandler has been working with us in the past from the Commons. I'm going to let him speak tonight about our new partnership.
Thank you, Dr. Scoletta. Board members, my name is Dave Chandler. I'm the Executive Director of the Commons Center for Food Security. I'm here this evening with Jennifer Metzler, our Senior Manager of our School Food Partnership. I do have some information to pass out.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're really excited to partnership with the district this year. We're building upon a successful program at Bayard Elementary School, our school food partnership. Our intent and dream and hope is to be in every elementary school in the district doing food security programming, and that's 4 different things. Jennifer will be talking to the principals who are here hopefully soon to talk about the options that we provide to each school. It could be a school pantry. It could be family boxes that we distribute to families. It could be snack packs or a backpack program for those students who teachers and counselors might know are going to be home alone and need some food to prepare by themselves. And also includes a farm stand. And these produce farm stands are a really innovative way to get fresh produce out to families in the district. It's been a huge success at Bayard Elementary last year, and we'd like to build upon that success. So we've acquired funding and support to implement the program at no cost to the district. We're also excited about a new opportunity to be in one of the old portable classrooms in the back. I'm not sure what you call that building, but it's being renovated, and we'll have a district pantry there. Not sure exactly when it's going to be open or how we're going to staff it right now, but it will have food for families that need on an emergency basis. It'll be across the hall from the new position created, correct me, the Family Support Services position, something like that.
Family
right?
coordinator, yes.
Family coordinator. And so we'll work closely with the family coordinator to identify families who have an immediate need for food, could go right into the pantry, and there'll be food on shelves, there'll be a refrigerator, freezer, they can access that food. So we're really excited to work with the principals and leadership team, and we'd like to be in all 3 elementary schools starting day 1 when school starts.
Thank you, Mr. Chandler. We appreciate the partnership and the collaboration. Thank you so much.
You bet.
I have a question. I know that in San Lorenzo, they have a food pantry there. Is that part of this program as well?
No, it's not. San Lo is kind of operated a little bit independently of what we've been doing. And last year it was just a pilot program. If you remember, we came to you last year about this time and had permission to work with Bayard Elementary.
Yes.
So that was not part of our program at San Lorenzo.
So is what you have adequate now, or do you think you can expand by?
I feel like that now, you'll have food.
Okay, that's what I need to know, because it is the outlying school, so.
Yeah, so we're there to support if you need it or talk to you about maybe some potential collaborations. But yeah, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Madam Vice President and board members, as you know, we have 6 out of 7 of our principals are new. I've asked the principals to come tonight and do a brief introduction about themselves and their family and any other information they want to share. So I'll just let them come to the podium and introduce themselves.
Okay. Whoever wants to come up first. Don't be shy.
I'm kind of new, but kind of old. I am the principal at San Lorenzo Elementary because somebody quit, so I had to take a job.
If you can introduce yourself for the
Oh.
newspaper.
My name is Shay Beeble. Did I not say that? I'm sorry. I live in Members. If I'm in a real hurry, I live 12 minutes from the school. So it's really nice to be located out there. I'm really happy about that. We live on a cattle ranch. My husband's a pretty busy guy. We have 2 daughters that are both attendees of Cobre schools, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Erin Brown Meeks. I'm the new principal at Cobre High School. I have about 15 years in public education in Texas and in New Mexico. I'm coming with 2 kids. I'll have a 3rd grader and a kindergartner who'll be joining the Cobre district. My husband works for the post office, and we're working on moving him up here as soon as we can.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you know who I am, but I am Laverne Martinez, principal at Hurley Elementary. I will be starting my 25th year of being in education and being with the Cobre School District. My husband also works for the Cobre School District. We have just celebrated our 23rd year wedding anniversary, and we have 3 beautiful kids who are also going to school in the Cobre School District. And I wanted to say that I'm very thankful that I had many people in this district that grew me, and I hope and pray that I've done that for many as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Artie Sanchez. I'm the assistant principal at Snell Middle School and Cobre High School, and also the athletic director. My wife, Amanda, is just got moved to the middle school. I have 3 sons, 4 grandchildren, and 1 on the way in December, who all my sons are alumni of Cobre High School. I am starting my 20th year in education. Of course, my first year as an administrator, and I look forward to working well with everyone, and I can't wait to get back. And like I told Mr. Guadiana the other day, I'm back home, and I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you, and we won't give you a hard time about that tie.
You don't have to. I'll just remind you in first place.
Well, welcome back, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Vice President, members of the school board, Dr. Spalletta. My name, for those of you that do not know me, my name is Margaret Flores Begay. I'm a native of Grant County, born and raised. I have 4 beautiful daughters, been married to James for 33 years. My background is working in the juvenile justice system, criminal justice system, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. I started as an adjunct, worked primarily in Deming, and I worked with the Deming public schools, the high school kids, college criminal justice courses. I'm looking forward to working at SNOW. I think my background is going to enhance my skill set, working with not only students, parents, and the community. I've served on several boards. I created a juvenile justice board, and I think if I could work with 3 grumpy old men judges and they won't get mad at me for saying that, I think I can work for anybody. I look forward to working with you all. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you.
So are you okay with 5 grumpy board members? One of whom we have more control of over.
Hello, Madam Vice President, Board, Dr. Spalletta. My name is Roxanne Nogas, and I have the honor of being the new principal at Central Elementary School. I have been in education 27 years. I have 22 of those years in elementary and the rest in middle school interventions. And that's it, I think. Oh, coach. And I've been married 36 years to Michael. I have 3 beautiful children, but the light of my life, of course, are my 5 grandchildren, who I absolutely love. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, school board and Dr. Spalletta. My name is John Olson. I've been with the district since December. I was a 3rd grade teacher in Carrizozo Municipal Schools for a year and a half. Before that, I was a teacher and retired teacher in Texas for the last 31 years. I started in 1991. I do have 2 boys going to Cobre, one who's 15 and one who's 16. My oldest will be a senior and my youngest will be a sophomore. I am at Bayard Elementary School. I took over somebody's job, and she's a big mentor to me, Suzanne Chavita. And every question I have, I certainly do ask her. She's very knowledgeable. And if there's anything else, if you need my assistance in any manner, or if I need your assistance, I certainly will call or text. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Being a principal is a tough job, so have a good school year, and thank you all for the work you're going to do with our kiddos.
Madam Vice President and board members, next I'd like to introduce the district cabinet members and executive secretary. We'll start with the executive secretary.
Good evening. Madam President is not here, or is she virtual? Or
She's not here today.
okay. And board members and Dr. Spalletta. My name is Stephanie Snyder. I'm the new executive secretary, as mentioned by Dr. Spalletta. I graduated from Western New Mexico University with honors. Very proud of that. While completing my bachelor's degree, I worked as a paraeducator, which got me very interested in education. And I also served with AmeriCorps for a year and a half, and I'm really happy to be here. I also worked for the Forest Service for a little bit before coming here, but hopefully I can serve you guys well.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
And now for the coordinators, if you would come up to the microphone, please. One at a time. Sorry.
Good evening. My name is Teresa Villa. I am the coordinator of family engagement. I am a Cobre graduate. I was born and raised in Nibras, New Mexico, and I still currently live there. I have 3 of my children attend the Cobre district, and I have worked 10 years with families and students of both districts, and even more so my entire life, I've been involved with the schools.
Welcome, thank you.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Spoleta. My name is Alma Grijalva. I have worked in the district for 14 years. I have 30 years of food service experience. I am the mother of 4 adult babies, and I have 2 grandchildren in the district.
Thank you,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Good evening, Madam Vice President, members of the school board, Dr. Spoleta. My name is Norma Ramirez, and I'm the new coordinator of HR and data. And I have lived here or in Silver City all of my life. I am married. My husband is also retired. And I have a 19-year-old son who works for the Silver City Fire Department as a firefighter and EMTI. I retired from the town of Silver City, and prior to coming over here, I was a senior property manager at Silver Cliffs Apartments and Mountain View Apartments. And I look forward to working with you guys. Very excited. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Honorable board members, Dr. Spoleta, it is a pleasure to be here. My name is Caitlin Church. I'm the coordinator of technology for the district. This is my 8th year working as a technology coordinator or director in a public school. This is my 23rd year working in information technology. Besides that, I'm also ordained Baptist minister. I hold a Master of Divinity degree, and I have really done everything I could in my life to be the best technology director you could have. So it is a privilege to be here, and I hope that you really respect my work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Madam Vice President, School Board, Dr. Spletta. I'm Erica Luckhurst, Coordinator of Special Education. I've been in education for over 15 years, all in special education, so I'm very excited to be here and to serve our students in Cobre.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
welcome.
And now for our directors, if you could step up to the microphone.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Spoleta. My name is Suzanne Chavita, and again, I'm very honored to serve the Cobre district. I have, I think, worked in 10 different school districts, not because I quit them all, just FYI, because I was a regional reading specialist and I was able to travel around to many different school districts. And I can honestly say that Cobre is my favorite out of all those 10. And personally, I've been married 37 years and counting. We had our anniversary this summer. And I have 2 beautiful adult children. And my son, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, will graduate in December and he will commission into the Air Force and become an Air Force pilot. And my daughter, she graduated from college and is now living in New York City. And my 2 grandchildren, I have 2 grandchildren, and they're here visiting me. And so it's been a lovely week visiting with my grandchildren, since I only get to see them very rarely since they live very far away. And again, thank you, Dr. Spletta, for giving me this opportunity to serve the Cobre schools, and I look forward to a great year.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hi.
Madam President, school board members, Dr. Spalletta, my name is Michael Corey, Director of Special Projects. Have worked in education. This is starting year 25. It's been amazing and really, I think the biggest thing for me is our focus on students. And we have some amazing things happening. I think the thing I'm probably most excited about is our Innovation Zone grant. I think there's going to be some really neat changes in our district that are going to do some amazing things for kids. So I look forward to serving our students and you, and hope we have a fantastic year.
Thank you, Mr. Corey.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members, Madam Vice President, the rest of you. So glad to see you guys again, and Superintendent Spalletta. My name's Lisa Walton, and I don't come to you with 27 years of education experience or anything like that. I come to you with a wide variety of experience. I feel like my entire life has prepared me for this position. I consider myself kind of a Jill of all trades, so I think that being the director of operations is going to be a good fit for me. I am really excited to be here and to work in the Cobre District. I have met most of my staff members, I think all of them, and we're building a good cohesive team, and I'm really excited about that. I've been married for 37 years to the same man, and I have, yes, fortunately, and we have 4 children, and I have 1 grandson, and so that's about all there is to tell about me, but we're super excited to be here in the Silver City area because that's where we're at, and it's gorgeous here. So glad to get my toes dried out and my self-proclaimed desert ratness coming back out again. So thank you. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you and welcome. And did Mr. Guadiana give you an earful like I said he would? Yeah. Was that true? Yeah, okay.
She promised us max. So you got to hold her to that. And Dr. Spalletta agreed. So.
Wow, how do I top all that? But anyways, my name is Frank Ryan. I'm Director of Finance for the district. I've been working in accounting for 35 years. 28 of those have been in the public schools.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Thank you all. It's so nice to see us fully staffed and ready to go for our students. And take your time on those lists. I've heard of those notorious lists that you guys have all gotten. So one step at a time, baby steps.
Madam Vice President and board members, moving along, last year's Summerfest was a very big event for the first year, probably one of the bigger events in the county. We had 1,000 participants, 54 booths. We'll let Teresa come up and explain this year's Summerfest event, where we're at, and we just have a few weeks left until the event.
Hello again. So last year, like Dr. Spalletta just mentioned, we had our very first Summerfest event, and we had 50 booths. This year, we have tripled in size. We have 150 booths and vendors. We have 20 plus food vendors. We're going to have a car show at the Summerfest. Multiple bands will be there, and we will also have Baila Encanto, where the kids will be dancing to Ballet Folklorico. We're working on a DJ still. The one we had dropped out, but we'll get another one. And we've gotten over $12,000 in donations, so that's a good thing. We are a whole month ahead of schedule with our T-shirts, with our school supplies, backpacks, and even with donations. So this year's event is going to be much, much bigger. Any questions?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'd just like to say thank you. It's a monumentous task and a monumentous success. And so that spells out to the community, the outreach to the parents as well as the students and to the extended community. It's not just for Cobre.
Yes,
So
sir.
I appreciate very much your work and I appreciate the signal that it sends on our behalf.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Yes.
love doing it.
Thank you. And then I just had a question about parking. Do you think we're gonna have enough parking?
So as far as the parking goes, I'm a little bit worried about the parking, but we did talk to the Bayard Police Department, and they're willing to close off the road that's between the high school and the housing on the side of the school. They're willing to close off that road, and then we will have the upper parking lot at the high school. So hopefully.
The tennis courts?
Oh, yes, and then Mr. Guadiana suggested that we use the tennis courts if we weren't able to get a certain event up there. So I'm not gonna say the event just yet, but I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do it, but if not, then we can park up there as well. We can direct them to go up there, but I'm working on getting adults to, guide the traffic, because last year we had some kids doing it, and this year we want to make sure that it gets done correctly. So.
Okay, thank you. So Dr. Spalletta, do we need to excuse the staff? I saw that there was a meet and greet at 6.
I said quarter till, if they'd like to stay till
Okay,
quarter till.
okay.
And she just handed out the donations list so far, which shows $12,000 and $12,795. That's a list of current donations.
All right, let's move on to approval of bills. So the bills did go through the Finance Committee. And it's the Finance Committee's recommendation that we approve them. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the bills as we reviewed at the Finance Committee on Tuesday or
Okay.
Wednesday.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's move on to approval of the Q2 financial reports.
In your packet is a copy of the quarter two financial report. I make a recommendation that we approve the quarter two financial report.
I'd entertain a motion for the approval of the Q2 financial report.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Has this been submitted to PED? And what's a review of it? Thank you.
All those in favor of approval signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose, same sign. Okay. We tabled item G. Let's move on to item H, approval of Board of Education positions to be filled at the November 7th, 2023 regular local election.
Madam Vice President and board members, in your packet is a notice to the county clerk that was filed last week. Today was the deadline. In that notice, there's three vacant positions. There will be three vacant positions beginning in January. So for the November election, those positions will be open for election.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Was there a resolution that needed to be approved?
Just this one page document.
Okay. Can.
I can check see if there's something else. That's what the clerk told me.
Okay. I was under the impression there had to be a resolution. And I don't know if it would be, if there's anything that would be not qualifying our requests. So I hope not.
Did the clerk mention anything today when it was submitted?
No.
Can we double check?
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, I'd entertain a motion.
Is this an action item?
It is.
Okay, I'm sorry. I would I would move that we approve this document, for lack of a better term. Can we just make it a resolution? I would approve this document, making it as a resolution.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose, same sign. Right. Let's move on to approval of RFP recommendation for school psychology services.
Madam Vice President and board members, in your packet is a request for proposals and RFP for school psychology services. The procurement department does not recommend that this organization provide services.
Who was in that decision?
That would be the financial department. I don't know who the actual members were that conducted the evaluation.
So there wasn't community participation in this decision?
We'll have to get, I wasn't included on that one, so offhand, I couldn't tell you right now. I will have to report back to you.
Do you agree with the recommendation?
Which one is this?
School psychology services.
If I may, the reason this wasn't approved from my understanding, and there's a narrative there in the packet. This is a company that looks for possible applicants. So it's not actually applicants for the position. They would reach out and consult with other applicants.
My concern is that there's a process for reviewing RFPs and that doesn't seem to have been followed, and it would be.
I'll have to see what's going on with this, Mr. Guadiana, and let you know from your report. I'm not, offhand, I'm not recalling exactly what happened. I wasn't, but let me check with you.
And it does look like there's two evaluators because it says evaluator 1 and evaluator 2.
But then again, that doesn't open itself up to public input or community participation.
Let me report back to you on this. I'll make, find it exactly.
Can I make a motion to postpone?
To table?
To table, yes.
Yes.
Excuse me, before you do that, we also are asking for approval to repost this position. So if we table it, we're not going to be able to do that.
If it gets brought to the board without going through proper protocol, that's an issue.
I don't know if it's gone through the proper protocol or not. I don't know.
The issues are here on the agenda.
So they're both within the finance. So finance is the only one that reviewed it. There's no public input.
And I was invited to both RFP visits right in the middle of my day at 8 o'clock in the morning, so no, I could have attended.
I know we had a hard time getting evaluators on that one.
Can we make a motion to approve since we're not approving this specific vendor?
Yeah,
Yeah, it has the same effect. However, making a motion to approve a recommendation or an RFP without going to the proper process is problematic. But I think it would have no effect in terms of if they're going to repost it anyway.
Okay.
We're still looking at 30 days and school starts less than 30 days. So it's important that we have this position.
I'm available pretty much all the time, and I never received a phone call to that
I'll make
effect.
sure, yeah. But yeah, you said you couldn't make it, but yeah, we'll make sure on that. I'll make note of it. I'll get you some answers.
So can I entertain a motion?
I move that we approve it with reservations on the process.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose, same sign. Let's go to item J, approval of RFP recommendation for physical therapy services. Any discussion?
Did this follow the full process of community participation? Did any of the others follow the full part,
It was on the same.
the same day?
Yeah, the same process.
Is it all right if she, Neva Bird is our consultant for special education.
Sure.
You want to come to the podium, please?
The physical therapy, I'm assuming is the one that we've had before, is that right, Frank?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Same
the
company.
physical therapy is the same company that we've been having provide services. I believe they're from Silver City or
Yes.
Lordsburg. Yes, sir. So it's the same company. We just needed to do a new RFP for that one. I wasn't involved in any of the other part of it because I just have been coming in intermittently, and now I've been here to help Erica get kind of on board. But I just wanted to clarify for you that the physical therapist group is one that we've been using, and I think that was the only bid that we
Yes.
received. So for that they had people, and we already have had those individuals working with our students. So I just wanted to clarify that for you.
It muddies it up more than it clears up.
Okay.
If it is,
Okay.
that this was, no, I understand what
Yeah,
you're saying,
yeah.
but it muddies up the
I realize
approval of
you're
it.
questioning your process
Well,
of how it was determined.
No, that part too, but if you already have a history here and it was it was as previous as last year, and somehow we disqualified at this point, it's kind of interesting.
Well, best practices within the bid process for recommendations on services is that every year you go out and get
Oh,
bid.
no, I understand.
And so they bid, and so, anyway.
It's our conclusion that it muddies up.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yes, Mr. Guadiana, what we'll do is we'll go back and review everything, and then we'll include Mrs. Bird and Ms. Luckhurst, our new special ed director, and you, and we'll rectify this. We'll get it. Get it back on track.
And I think we mentioned it at our meeting in San Lorenzo, having a 3-person committee. If I'm not mistaken, I think we discussed it over there.
There's a serious conflict of interest if the same people that collect the information are involved in the selection, especially solely involved in the selection.
Okay, we'll get together on this. Thank you for pointing that out.
Welcome.
So can I entertain a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the recommendation for physical therapy services.
Do I have a second? Can I second? I'll second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose, same sign.
I oppose for lack of due process.
Okay, still a 2-1, so passes. Let's move on to item K, approval of reposting the RFP for school psychology services. Any discussion? Seeing that there's no discussion, I'd entertain a mution.
I'll move. For reposting the position. The RFP.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. We'll move on to item L, approval of reposting RFP occupational therapy services. Any discussion?
What was the purpose for not accepting? Were there any that were submitted?
No.
No? Okay. Then I would make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, when you call for the motion.
So at this time, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for reposting the occupational therapist RFP.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. We'll move on to item M, approval of reposting RFP speech and language services. Any discussion?
For the same reason, were there submissions for this RFP?
No.
I believe all the repostings are because we didn't get any submissions.
And so in the knowledge of that, is there any strategy for going out to extend the RFP in terms of contacts that we make?
All of the RFPs were posted in the local paper, the Deming paper, and the Las Cruces paper.
So we could go further than go out further. And we could specifically call them and say, hey, will you put it in bid?
I also thought there was some discussion about the option of virtual services as well for some of these services.
We'll have to find out. We'll have to investigate that.
They didn't submit anything for this. There was a few though.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move for the reposting of the speech and language services RFP.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay. That moves us to item N, approval of reposting RFP diagnostic services. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to repost the diagnostic services RFP.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that moves us to item O, approval of a resolution determining the necessity for lease purchase of education technology equipment. Go ahead, Dr. Spalletta.
So in your packet, there's a letter from the Office of the Treasurer, New Mexico State Treasurer. It needs our president and secretary's signature. There's also a document that asks for the members present, members absent, signatures.
Did we have someone online to talk about this too?
No.
No. I could have sworn I saw Regina on there from Capital Markets.
Where's our tech?
Board members, Superintendent, good evening, everyone. Can you folks hear me?
Okay, Regina, can you speak up a little bit?
Board members, Superintendent, good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
So in front of you in the packets is the first resolution that the board will approve in order for the district to issue the education technology notes that will be placed as a one-day loan with New Mexico State Treasurer's Office. So after the board will consider and approve the resolution tonight, we will in a few weeks be setting final interest rate with New Mexico State Treasurer's Office. The interest we are estimating to be a few $100s to place this loan. The final amount of the loan will be also determined based on the cash amount in your debt service account. We're still to receive probably another payment here coming up from the county treasurer. So let's say we do have, by the time the loan is priced, $800,000, we will be placing the loan just for the amount of the cash in your account. So again, it is a 1-day loan with the cash that you will already have in the account to pay it off in a day. With that, the board will be approving the final resolution with the final terms and conditions for this loan with New Mexico State Treasurer's Office at a special board meeting on August 1st. And then thereafter, we will be closing the loan in a few weeks around September 6th, and the loan will be paid off with the cash you already have in the account on September 7th. And I would be happy to answer any questions. I know the name of the resolution might be a little bit confusing. It does require from a statutory and legal point of view to have those wording as a lease purchase agreement. However, the district will not be entering into any lease or purchasing any equipment from the state. You will receive the cash that will be sitting in a bank account with Bank of Albuquerque that you will be able to spend on those education technology needs, and you will have 5 years from the date of closing to spend those proceeds on funding your technology needs.
Regina, I had a question. So this money can't be spent on like security systems, is that correct?
So typically, no, it has to be qualified as education technology. But if the district does have a list that you would like for us and legal counsel to take a look at before you start, spending the proceeds, we would like to do so to make sure that the list that you have in mind is within the allowable spending criteria determined by the state and the IRS as well.
Okay, thank you. And then do we need to read the resolution?
No, you do not need to read a resolution.
Okay, thank you.
What about board president's signature?
Oh, one other question. Our board president is not here tonight. Can I sign as the vice president? Would it affect our special meeting with 2 different signatures?
I think that should work. That should not be an issue.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Guadiana.
The amount, is that just for the first year? And is it, how many years does that go out then?
Great question. So this is just for the first year. So again, the amount in the resolution is the up to amount. We had a much higher amount than you will actually receive. We wanted to put the cash amount on the higher end to be safe, since we were not sure when we were submitting the request to the treasurer the actual cash amount that you will have in the account. We will be working with your CFO on that final amount. So most likely that amount that you will receive this year will be a little bit below $1 million. Next year, as you do another education technology note, you will be receiving most likely a similar amount. So this is just the first installment, as we're talking about doing another technology note next year. You will be counting on a very similar amount. However, this is subject to change. As you're well aware, those cash flows come in, a lot of them in your tax base from copper. So, and that can fluctuate.
And this raises us to the 10%?
So next year, yes, this will get you to the 10 mil that is required by PSFA for you to apply for the funding for the high school, I believe.
And prior to that, we were receiving around 600,000?
So prior to it, so this year is your first year doing the education technology note. The prior tax dollars went fully into the GO bond debt service.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Regina.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Do you have anything to add on that one, Frank?
No, it's all pretty straightforward, and I'm expecting one more payment for the treasurer here soon, and we'll have our final numbers.
And this was discussed at finance,
Yes.
and we recommended that the different schools attend a community meeting so they can share their list of technology needs, so we can see what every school is going to need.
Right, correct.
And you're going to set that at a later date, right?
Yes.
Soon, hopefully.
Yes, I was going to talk about that here in just a minute.
Okay. So at this time, if there's no other questions or discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I would move that we adopt this resolution for the education technology bonds.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's move on to item P, approval of food services revised salary schedule. This also came before finance, and DeMarcus caught an error with the spreadsheet. So she fixed it, corrected it, and then it was brought back to finance. Any discussion? See no discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
Madam Vice President, I make a motion to approve the revised food services salary schedule.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Let's move on to item Q, approval of the revised stipend schedule. This was also brought back to the finance committee. What do we correct on this one?
There was 2 assistant band directors listed on there. The band director's salary was half of what it should have been, so it's been changed. And I think those are the only changes.
Okay. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, see no discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
Madam Vice President, I move to approve the revised stipend schedule.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, let's move on to item R, approval of revised coaches stipend schedule. Any discussion? This came before the finance committee, and I believe we left off the golf coach. We added the golf coach to the schedule.
Okay, that's the only change?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
See
no more discussion, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to amend the coaching schedule, stipends.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. That moves us to item S, approval of resolution for the central drainage project. So this was also discussed at the finance committee. We're going to be working on getting the environmental certification done.
The
And-
project's been rescheduled from here in July till August.
Okay. Any discussion?
The specifications remain the same. We're going with a 4-inch line going out.
I don't think we've gotten that far yet. We've been awarded this last year and this year, so I don't think we've just determined what. So our new person just started a week ago, so she hasn't had a chance to really work on that.
Mr. Esqueda also asked that same question.
I would think this is deja vu. The projects that never get started nor finished, obviously.
We just did $1 million in bond projects, so we've got a lot of projects going on right now. I'm sure this will get finished in August. I have faith that our new operations director will get it finished.
I hope, I'm optimistic.
Finance committee members also shared the same concern too.
And dealing with Mr. Esqueda on damming excavation, there's going to be, and the environmental department is going to be quite a bit of coordination that needs to happen before the project can be completed, so.
Okay, any other discussion? At this time, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the resolution for the completing the central drainage project.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. It looks like we have no unfinished business. Item 5, the Finance Committee report. So we met, we talked about our norms for the committee. We said that we would start on time and finish on time, respect everyone's time commitment to the committee. Any documents or items needed for the packet would be submitted the Friday before the meeting at 5 p.m. What else, Mr. Terrazas? What was the other one?
On the norms. One of them was a possibility of somebody going virtual, not so much streaming, but also giving us that flexibility of somebody being virtual.
All right, committee members having access to like a Google Meet option to attend the meeting. And then we discussed the statute of what our responsibilities were as a finance committee. We looked at the revised food service salary schedule, the coaches' stipends, and we talked about our new time that we're going to meet. We're going to be meeting every first and third Tuesday of the month. Our hope is to get to just having one meeting a month. And we also discussed the possibility of broadcasting and live streaming our committee meetings, but it was the recommendation of the committee that we not do that. We thought it'd be a burden to our new technology director.
And we also discussed nobody else in the close vicinity streamlines or finance or audit committee meetings.
And that concludes my finance committee report. Any questions?
No.
Okay, let's move on to our audit committee report.
The audit committee did not meet in June. The requirement for the monthly meetings begins when our audit for our current, for our previous school year starts. That will have an entrance conference this coming Wednesday at 5 o'clock. No, actually 4 o'clock. There may be some discrepancy between the notice and the time posted on the agenda. I don't know what the consequence of that is, but having the auditor participate in it seems like that's essential for us to get that started. The deadline will be November 15th as it normally is to finish the audit. The audit will be going concurrent with the previous year's audits because it hasn't started yet either. So we hope to keep that to a monthly schedule, but if not, then we'll have to adjust accordingly. These meetings, I believe, are going not to be open to the public because they are audit sensitive and the audit material isn't discussed until the audit is finalized. I'll ensure with the auditor that that is the criteria. Otherwise, we'll continue to post them as open meetings. We will continue to post the meetings, but they may not be open to the public.
Okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, let's move on to item 7, superintendent's report.
On to 7C, fundraisers. There's 2 fundraisers that I've approved for the high school volleyball team for fundraisers for spirit packs, equipment. Actually, it's one fun fundraiser. It looks like a copy of the same one. That's the only fundraiser we have.
Okay.
Next is the bond project. So in your packet, as I mentioned, there's $1 million in bond projects that are going on. I've looked at a few of them, and most of them are coming along. There's 1 or 2 that have finished, and I guess there's 18 total projects going on, 17 total projects. The total bond project amount is $1,053. So we want to go through each one of those projects.
Yes, please.
So the Central Elementary track, that's been completed. So it's, a track was designated and compact material around the track.
Dr. Spalletta, are we going to be able to put like pavers or siding to make sure that it looks like a track, or?
We just got an estimate for that, and I'm not sure if we're going to be able to afford that or not. It just depends.
Okay.
Isn't that a project that was done by the city, by Santa Clara?
No, that was Deming Excavation that did that.
I understand that there would be somebody different, but we entered into an agreement with Santa Clara, and that agreement gave them access to land to build a track. Is that part of that deal, and why is it being counted against our bond money?
I wasn't aware of that at all. This was one of the bond projects that the community suggested, that we have a walking track at Central Elementary.
Can you take a look at the agreement that we came in to with the city of Santa Clara?
I'll take a look at that. This is the first I've heard about an agreement with them.
Same with me.
Yeah, we entered it. I'm not sure if it was when you guys were here.
It might have been prior to
Might have been
us being
prior
on the
to that,
board.
but we entered to the city agreement with the city.
The next two projects are Bayard Elementary and Snell Middle School, installation of the camera system, door access, and then the sensors in the bathrooms. As you can see, the grand total is almost $500,000. They just gotten started on that within the past week. So they're doing cabling right now, and then they're going to try to get as much of the work that may interfere with students or traffic done before the school year starts.
Do we have an estimated completion time?
We've asked that by July 31st, but I think it's probably going to go longer than that.
Okay.
And so we chose to go with the cable cameras as opposed to the Wi-Fi ones?
I wasn't, yeah, that's all of our camera systems are
Cabled?
So number 4 is the Hurley Elementary mini sports field, and I looked at it. It's just about done. Should be done in the next week.
So Dr. Spalletta, I had a question on that. I thought we are going to have turf for that whole back area. It's just now the sports field?
It's just a mini sports field in the back. It's that large area between the portable building and the cafeteria. It's a pretty large area, huge area. There's not a lot of other place to put turf in the back.
There's a lot of space out there.
There's a lot of space to put turf in the back. There's a lot of space to put turf in the back.
That was my understanding, that it was gonna
I don't
cover
think we've
the.
ever talked about that. Have we, Ms. Martinez?
I think it was just proposed turf in the back. And I was told that this is probably the amount that we could spend was for
There are rolls and rolls of turf from the football field that sit there rolled up in the sun between the football field and the softball field.
I haven't seen it. I can have our director of operations look into that. I wasn't aware that there was any extra turf anywhere.
There's just a ton of it.
Anyways, that project is nearly completed.
Okay.
San Lorenzo Elementary has been repainted. There's still some issues with the completion of it, so we haven't finished that project yet, but the school's been painted. There's some things that need to still be fixed on that paint job.
And when do we expect that to be completed? By the start of school?
Oh, hopefully this week it'll be finished, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our director of operations is in contact with that company to make sure that they get everything finished. This project is the wrestling room. Number 6 is the wrestling room, remodeling of the restrooms. And I just got an email today. It's, I think there's another 2 weeks before the inspectors inspect it. There were some problems with the drainage system that was already part of the original project there. So they had to redo a lot of the area there. They demolished a custodial room, built a girls' locker room, but the plumbing had to be renovated because of the initial plumbing was done incorrectly. So hopefully that can be before the next 2 weeks at the latest. I just got an email that I haven't had a chance to really look over today.
And Dr. Spalletta, does this include the mats too?
That's a different project on here.
Okay, sorry.
Mhm. So there's another project, installation of a metal shade structure and pad at Central Elementary School. The shade structure has been ordered, but it's still behind schedule as far as getting that installed. It may be another month before that gets installed. The wall pads for the wrestling room, those have been installed. Have they finished that? So they finished that wall-to-wall pads in the wrestling room.
Okay.
The small gym at the high school, that's number 9, repair and refinish the gym floor. I believe that's finished too, isn't it? The auxiliary gym, resurfacing of the floor at Snell Middle School, the logo and the name change. Has that been done or are they working on it? Started today. Okay, so I think it's 4 to 5 days before that should be completed.
Okay.
Softball batting cages. We've gotten the batting cages and we have a contractor that's gonna put the batting cages up. So there's 2 big crates there right now and I don't think they've started on that, have they?
Probably estimating last week, they're around that on that's to make that area ready for batting cages, but there's been a bulldozer out there.
I'd say in the next 2 weeks, that should be completed also. That's a local person that's putting up the batting cages.
And how many were ordered?
Two.
Two.
Mhm. They're dual batting cages, so we'll actually have 4 different areas.
Okay.
Hurley Elementary, pruning the trees and installing root barriers. I believe that's completed, but I haven't had a chance to check that yet. On Friday, I'm going to be checking all of these projects with the operations director. So there were some problems with the roots growing into the sidewalks, and I believe they've finished all of that, but I'm going to check Friday. As the Commons, Dave from the Commons mentioned, we've renovated our portable building back here that had some problems with the flooring and the walls and the roof. So number 13, they haven't finished putting in the carpet yet, but they've redone all the walls and the flooring to get it back to where it should be. So that should be done soon, I believe, in the next week or so. And that's number 14 also. They spent all last week out there working on the roof leak. I believe that's completed, but I'll be checking that on Friday. Painting of this administrative building started and it's supposed to be done by the 15th. So that's number 15. Exterior painting. Mold removal and remediation. I know that started here in this building and that should be done in the next 2 weeks also.
That's the offices north of here?
Yes,
And is it safe? Are staff working in there or are they elsewhere?
All that's, they're not working in it. They've been relocated to it for several years now.
Okay.
And then the last thing is Garcia fencing the batting cages. And so again, that's should be done in the next couple weeks, if not sooner. So we're pretty close to spending all of the 2017 bond money. And there was an extension till December to get it spent by December.
So technically, we're like 2 years behind schedule.
Well,
technically,
in December it was 5 years that it was, and so we're
December, that was, yeah. So 4 years. 2 years.
okay. So moving along on the schedule, Smart Find Express implementation. So we're working, Ms. Ramirez, our new coordinator of HR, we're working on implementing Smart Find Express for substitutes and for attendance. So we hope to have that implemented by August 3rd. So it'll be easier for substitutes to find positions and for us to contact substitutes and also for us to do attendance that way too.
Will they be trained on that? The
Right.
substitutes, will they be given, how to access it, how to find jobs?
So the substitutes are going to be required to go through one of our 5 different orientations before school starts. And that's part of the orientation.
Okay.
And there's quite a bit of training for the building staff and for our administration as well.
And for the orientation, are they going to be compensated or?
I don't remember if we've discussed that or not. We didn't do it last year, I don't believe.
If I'm remembering, I think you did.
I don't remember, but I can look into it.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be prohibitive to not compensate them?
I worked in human resources in Las Cruces. And it wasn't something that we paid. They didn't get a stipend or anything.
I think we talked about it last year because we wanted to maintain our subs. And I think we also talked about the possibility of paying them weekly or paying for their licensure. We're just kind of coming up with solutions on how to keep them,
How to retain.
retain our substitutes.
So we did end up paying them $20 more per day than the other districts. That was, and we've said we're going to continue doing that. But I'll definitely look into a stipend or a pay for that orientation.
Okay.
Frontline recruiting and hiring. We've had several discussions with Frontline, which is a national staffing, recruiting, hiring online program. And this is something that many of the other districts use in the area. As you know, we're still using paper and packets. So we're hoping that we can go to a digital format. So we've talked to them about, Norma and I had a meeting with them last week, and we're hoping to meet with them again the first week of September to continue a possibility of implementing a online hiring and staffing program dashboard.
Do we know how much that's going to cost?
It's $5,000 or $6,000 a year.
Okay. And they provide technical support on that?
They do. This is actually what I worked with in Las Cruces Public Schools, and it's pretty user friendly. But they provide training and help 24-hour a day help. So this past week, the cabinet had a retreat, which went really well, and members at the lodge and members. And we are going to be going to a training, administrator training, and next week in Albuquerque also.
Is that all district staff or?
That's going to be just the district cabinet members.
Okay.
So there's eight people, I believe, that are attending.
Okay.
All of our principals 6 out of 7 of the principals will be attending the principal academy. And we're also having a training this week, a 4-day training this week in Silver City at the Silver City Annex. So the last item on my list is the Tech Bond public input meeting. So I'll try to schedule that within the next within the next month, so that community members and schools can have input on the tech money. And it looks like, according to Regina, we're going to have a little less than $1 million to spend on instructional technology. So principals, put together your wish lists and needs. And we did this also for our 2017 bonds. We had a community meeting to gather input and really talk about the priorities as far as instructional technology. So plan on that in the next month at the latest, not sooner.
A comment on that. The ability to remote in for students is something that was very important, obviously, during the COVID time, but it should be, I would hope that it's something that we continue, so that if we do have discipline concerns and some people are not allowed to attend school, that they be allowed to participate in their classrooms via a remote access, so that they don't fall behind. Making sure that that person's ready to come back into attendance, knowing that. So I would hope that we have an emphasis on establishing that capacity in the classroom.
So this summer, we've processed, getting a bunch of Chromebooks fixed. They should be ready to go before school starts. Ms. Chavita has passed along her presentation for the principals that she's going to be presenting on Thursday, and that's one of the items that she's going to talk about on Thursday.
And I respectfully disagree with that. As a teacher teaching during a pandemic, and it's hard. It's hard to keep to a schedule. I mean, as a kindergarten teacher, first grade teacher, it's very hard on the teacher. I feel like we're asking extra of them.
And to comment on that, it isn't to do what happened during COVID. It is to give the teacher the capacity to just hook on a microphone and a camera, follow them, and they continue teaching classes the way they normally would, and that student would be able to observe and or even participate in, and that can be up to whatever the circumstances are for that person's not being in the classroom. So it shouldn't be another barrier to what it is that they're doing in teaching or something else added to it. It should be something that they just allow to continue in the classroom.
But it is an extra burden to ask them to set up the computer to stream their class. And if there's a behavior issue, the teacher's still almost getting punished. If there's a behavior issue and the student's on screen, they're not getting sent home and the teacher's still having to deal with that behavior.
Not if it is that the criteria is that the person not return to class until that behavior has been modified such that it is amenable to work in the classroom. And that's where, if that's the case, then we continue somebody outside to not participate in school, ensuring their failure and ensuring the continuation of the problem.
I just think it's an extra burden on our teachers.
I disagree. Not to say that it isn't an extra burden, but I think it's trivial compared to the consequences of not having it.
And what's to say that student's creating a disturbance online?
That is
And how-
easily handled. with
How are we
such
going
a-
to hold the student accountable to be online?
There's a mute button that automatically takes that off, and you can disconnect.
Have you had to teach a group of kindergarten students and be accountable for the students in front of you as well as students online?
Oh, yes, I do it every day. You know the answer to it.
Okay, well, so we do have a virtual option in place for all of our schools, especially when we have snow days and things like that. So we wanted to make sure that was being put in place. So I'll talk more with the principals this week about that.
It looks like we have no new business. We'll move on to public input items of concern. Do we have any public input for items of concern? Do we have anything online? Okay. Okay, thank you. How long do you think that will take you? Like a couple seconds? 5 minutes? Okay. All right, I'll give you a minute.
We're going to sign these before we go into executive session. Or do you want to wait? Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to number 10, executive session notice is hereby given so that the Cobre Board of Education will meet in executive session for the following purpose. Personally identifiable information about a student as permitted under section 10-15-1 H4, specifically so that the superintendent can update the board regarding a formal complaint against the district with the New Mexico Public Education Department's Special Education Division. C223-50. And I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we go into executive session for the identified issues just read.
Is there a second?
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Guadiana,
Aye.
Mr. Terrazas.
Yes.
Myself, yes. So we are in executive session at 6:18.
That's it.
I'll go by my watch. Okay, item 11, reconvene in open session at the conclusion of the executive session for statement affirming that no action was taken in executive session and that discussions were limited to personally identifiable information about a student. At this time, I entertain a motion to come back into regular session.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Let's do a roll call vote. Mr. Guadiana,
Yes.
Mr. Terrazas,
Yes.
myself, yes. So we are back in regular session at
34.
7:34. At this time, I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We are adjourned at 7:34.